Yo, what's up, your boy Ghost here, and today I'm bringing you guys a settings video. Now, this video was requested by a subscriber, and since I wasn't really able to pump out a comparison video this week for Warzone, I decided that right now would be the best time to bring out this video. And the reason why I'm not gonna have a comparison video this week or this Tuesday or whatnot was because, for one, last week I did not really play Warzone like that. I decided to take a little mental break from it because I was starting to get pretty annoyed by it and starting to get it was starting to get to me a little bit. And then for number 2, the Cold War beta came out, and so the whole weekend I was pretty much just playing that up until the end. But yeah, maybe I still probably think that there's gonna be a comparison video next week. You know what I'm saying? I gotta work on it though, but we'll probably get it out. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We are really close to 1.1k. Maybe by the time this video's out, maybe I'm already there. But if I'm not, you know what I'm saying, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for your boy. And also, if you find this video useful and informative, hit the like button. Okay, so getting into the settings video, I wanted to make this video a lot differently than the normal settings video. Now, see, it's normally when a person makes a settings video, they usually show a gameplay and then they just throw up the settings for like a minute and go over it. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to show you all my settings throughout the video, but I want to explain why I use certain settings and what benefits come from using those settings. Because I feel like if I just show you a setting, like, it doesn't really help you understand. It just shows you that that's how I play. That's like how I play, not how you would play, none of that. But anyways, the first thing I want to start off is my actual general settings. I have a few settings that I wrote down and that I plan on going over because I think are the most important. Now, granted, these are not PC settings because I don't play on PC. I play on console, so I'm pretty sure if I played on PC, there'd be different settings. But for the first thing I want to talk about is my button layout and sensitivity and whatnot. So right now, I'm gonna put up my some settings right now. So here, if you want to pause the video to look at these settings, feel free to. These right here are my, I don't even know what to call these. I just know that they're like under the general settings. These are like the first settings that you see. So number 1, I want to start off my button layout. I play stick and move flipped. Now the reason I play stick and move was because from Black Ops 3, I don't have a SCUF, right? Or I play with the normal controller, and so me using stick and move allows me to jump a lot easier. And in Jetpack Call of Duties, you had to pretty much be able to jump a lot. And playing stick and move allowed me to just freely move around the map, jump around, and I never got out of that habit. I know a lot of people like to play tactical flipped or just tactical in general, but for me, stick and move has been with me since Black Ops 3, and I don't really plan on changing it for a very long time or if ever. The flipped is just personal preference. A lot of people like using their bumpers, triggers, whatever. I use R1 and L1. I used that again in Black Ops 3, and I just never got out of that habit. And to me, it's just a lot easier to, use my equipment, shoot, and whatnot. So, what I'm saying? That's just why I use it. Again, that's all personal preference. I know a lot of people use tactical default, scubs, bumper jumper, whatnot. But right there for me, stick and move, nothing too crazy about that. My dead zone is a .05, it's the default dead zone. When it first came out, I had trouble figuring out my dead zone. .10, I used it and I felt like I couldn't hit any shots. I honestly don't really know how to explain dead zone or define it. I just don't touch it because I don't really know what it does like that. And now here's a big setting. It's my sensitivity. Now, I play on a 10-10 sensitivity, as you guys saw in the screenshot. I play on 10 horizontal, 10 vertical. And previously, I would rock the lowest sensitivity because I would follow the mold that pro players played on, or I would just follow what pro players did. And the pro players that I watch, they usually play on 6.6, 7.7, 5.5. So for Black Ops 4, when I took the game a lot more seriously and I was a really good player then, I was running a 6.6 with like a .75 ADS or 1, and it worked wonders. It didn't feel too slow, and I was going crazy. This year, I was at 6.6, and for like half of Warzone, I was at 6.6 as well. But I watched someone named Mutex. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that guy plays 20. He plays 20/20 sensitivity. And for Warzone, I noticed that a higher sense is a lot more beneficial than a slower sense because a split-second reaction time or just timing is it's very crucial to a lot of gunfights in the game. So me playing on a higher sensitivity, it allows for me to snap a lot more or a lot easier than a slower sense. And I've definitely noticed it. Like when I played on 6.6 sensitivity, it didn't feel slow at the time, right? But when I went back to it after playing like a while from 10-10, it felt really slow. And trust me, like the difference doesn't really, you don't really tell the difference until you actually start, when you first use it and if you ever go back to your old sense. Now I will say playing at a high sense comes with a lot of like risk to it. If you don't play for a little bit, or you take a few days off, you come back, and for me, it takes a while for me to get adjusted. It feels like I cannot hit a shot, and it just feels very awkward. And even when you start off again, you have to get used to your sensitivity because it's a lot quicker, and any slight movement makes it kick, pass over a target. So if I quickly go over to the right, I might pass my target, as opposed to if I played on 6-6. It would be easier to hit my shots, which is one of the reasons why people like using lower senses, because lower senses means higher accuracy. So if you that's why pro players use 6-6. That's why they don't use high sensitivities, because it's easier to hit shots when you play lower sense. That's why I love playing 6-6. It was way easier. But now with 10-10, I found my groove. I still hit my shots, and it really all just comes down to practicing and just playing the game, so you can get used to that sense. Now, I was playing on a 13 sense. That was way too fast for me. I had to tone it down to 10. That's like my sweet spot. So some of you guys might be able to play on those higher senses. Trust me, though, I feel like for Warzone, it's pretty much worth it to go high sense. But at the end of the day, again, personal preference. You do what you want to do. Now, another important setting that I use is the ADS low zoom. Now, my low zoom is a 0.90. I think the higher the sense, the lower you go, and I think the lower the sense, the higher you go. I'm not sure how this ADS zoom works. I don't really know, again, the specifics of it. I'm pretty sure it's when you're aiming in the weapon and you move around. I think that's what it comes down to. Honestly, I think you don't want it that fast. You want it like a reasonable speed, so you're not missing your shots when you're shooting somebody and you're trying to snap onto somebody. My high zoom is a 1.2 or a 1.20. I don't really notice a difference. I'm able to hit my shots with the sniper on that, or just with guns with the sights that it applies to. I don't really know specifics of this setting. That's what I just have it to. If you want to mess around with that, go feel free to. And here's another big setting: the aim response curve. I play on a dynamic aim response curve. Now, the reason I went to this was because I had trouble. There was like a point in Warzone where I lost aim assist very frequently, and it happened all the time. And I don't know, for some reason I thought going to dynamic aim response curve would help me fix my aim assist problem, which it really didn't, but I never got away from it. I don't really know if it does a major difference or not. That's what I personally play on. I know a lot of people just play on linear, or I think default. Really, there's nothing too crazy about that. And then lastly, my controller vibration, I play with that off. Nothing really to explain there. I just don't like vibration on my controller. But yeah, with that being said, now let's get into my aim assist and all those settings. And here we have my aim assist settings. Now, there's nothing too crazy here. There's only two settings that I've actually changed, or I'm going to highlight. And that is the aim assist. The aim assist for me is just standard. Nothing too crazy. The other options, I don't really remember exactly what they were, but I don't use them. I think I've experimented with one or two of them, but they didn't work for me, so I just went back to standard. And this one right here is going to be a very important setting that I think a lot of people overlook and don't use. It is called the contextual tap. Now, I think at the beginning of the Warzone, a lot of people definitely overlooked this setting, including myself. But I think now it might be a lot more used. I think everyone uses it, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like some of you guys, just in case you do not know, there's a setting, or in the settings, that makes it so you only have to you just tap your button instead of holding it to pick up items. It is very, very just convenient. It's so much better. And I'm telling you, put on the contextual tap to make life easier for Warzone. Now, that's pretty much it from there. Now, we'll talk about the next set of settings. And here we have the third set of settings. We're going to be talking about 3 different settings right here that I think are very important for playing Warzone and whatnot. Just because it has to deal with movement, and movement is a very important part of playing this game. And I know for me, it's a very big factor in why I play good and whatnot. So, for one, let's talk about the sliding behavior. So, sliding behavior on default is hold. And trust me, if you're trying to effectively slide cancel, which is a very important part of this game, slide canceling, just to get around the map. As you guys can see here, I'm trying to slide cancel. My controller's pretty messed up, but I'm slide canceling just to be able to move faster. Trust me, if you don't slide cancel, you should start doing it now, or trying to practice it, because with these new CODs, this thing called cracked movement. And if you don't have cracked movement, man, you're kind of behind, and you know what I'm saying, other people just have advantages over you. But the reason why you should put tap to slide on is because if you have hold to slide, you wouldn't be able to actually slide cancel properly. And there's 2 ways to slide cancel. So I know that I used to do this one. It's where you would slide and aim in to cancel your slide cancel, or your slide. But that's not an effective way to do it. It's a lot slower than the actual good way. And trust me, man, it's just not a good one, bro. But the other way to do it is where you have tap to slide, and you double tap your slide button, and then you like press jump after you double tap your crouch button or your slide button. And it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of hard to exactly tell you how to do it, but trust me, look up someone like Shotzi, pro player. He explained it very well in his movement video. And another setting that has to deal with movement is called ATS, or auto attack sprint. This for me personally is more about saving your controller more than anything. Yes, it makes life easier, but sprinting, all you have to do is press up on your analog instead of like pushing down on it and then going up, where it would, you know, tears down your controller. My controllers have suffered because of Modern Warfare's movement system. Thank God they added ATS though, because it definitely helps with the durability of your controller. And then last but not least, the parachute auto deploy. Now this is another setting that I think is very overlooked and a lot of people don't have. So what this does is when you go down in Warzone with the parachute, when you just let yourself fall, this is the normal setting, or the default setting is it automatically pulls your parachute for you. And when it comes to Warzone, landing on something quicker than your opponent is a very big part, especially when there's one gun, you're trying to beat your opponent so you can kill them. And you know, having this auto deploy could mess you up and can help the opponent beat you to that weapon. If you don't have auto, if you make it so there is no auto deploy, you could go pretty much straight down, get as close to the ground as possible, and then, you know, you pull your parachute and you get there quicker. It's just overall better to land quicker. You know what I'm saying? That's only like the biggest difference. And even in situations where you got to jump off a building, it allows you to go all the way at the bottom instead of it pulling it for you and getting you killed. But anyways, we're gonna get into the last bit of settings. These are pretty small, nothing too crazy. But yeah, let's get into it. So I lied. We're actually gonna have a very important setting coming up. But right now we're gonna just talk about this very, very quickly. So as you guys saw there, it was a minimap thing. A lot of people do not play on square minimap, and trust me, man, if you're not playing on square minimap, please change it now. It helps a lot with just being able to see a lot more in Warzone. It's definitely better than the circle. And it's just a little setting that could probably help you win a few gunfights, get a few more kills, just because you can see the red dots a lot farther, because you can see more on the map. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy though. Make sure to change it to square. It's just a better way to play. But yeah, last but not least, we're gonna get into my audio settings, which I'm putting up right now. And if you're going to take anything away from this video, these settings right here is the ones I'm going to ask you to please use, because these are probably the best audio settings to use. Not just for me, everyone uses this. So I'm going to start off with the audio, setting, boost high. I know there's a lot of things like home theater, low boost, whatnot, but boost high is probably the best audio setting for you to be able to hear things like footsteps, gunshots, and whatnot. And trust me, bro, for me, I know for a fact, this boost high setting has helped me a lot, being able to sound horror, being able to hear my it's so much better, man. Now, maybe your headset doesn't work well with boost high, and using something else could work, but I'm pretty sure at least 99% of you guys, boost high would be the best option. And if you do not have it, trust me, I'm saying, bro, it's a lifesaver. Now, also, one of the other things that I have for my audio settings, I had no music playing. I don't really know how. I don't know if there's music in Warzone, because I don't have music turned on. I haven't had music turned on in a few CODs, you know what I'm saying? I always turn it off now. I don't know, just me. I don't know if it's, but if there's music in the game, which I don't remember if there's music in the game, but if there is, man, trust me, it could really mess up when you're trying to hear and just having that extra noise, man. Like, you don't need that. So, you know what I'm saying? Use these audio settings. I'm telling you, bro. Like, again, if just anything you're gonna use from this video, because again, settings could all be personal preference. I think for the most part, my settings could apply to a lot, except for maybe my sensitivity and my button layout. But I think for the most part, the sensitivities are usable and could really help some of you guys improve if you're having trouble figuring things out. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and also let me know what are your personal settings and how you like them. And yeah, talk to you guys later. Peace.